Hello and welcome to the dialogue. I'm your host with the Golden Mic, Daniel Campbell, and I'm here with the one to envy, Be Smooth, and I'm also here with the star of the show, Charlie Murphy. In today's episode, we'll talk about rebuilding the Celtics and the Warriors. All right, fellas. Well, it's pretty obvious to us the NBA Finals are probably over tomorrow night. The Warriors are probably going to be crown champions, and even if they are not, they're probably going to win Game Seven anyway. So, with that being said, I think that the analysis of the games has been fairly covered. But what hasn't been covered is what's going to happen after the season with these two historic franchises. We're going to put on our GM hats today, and we're going to play a little NBA 2K My GM mode. What do we do with the Boston Celtics? How are we going to move forward going into next season? Um, let's start with the first player, Jason Tatum. Are we keeping him? What are we doing? Smooth?
I don't want to go player by player. I can just give you exactly what I'm going to do with the Celtics.
Well, let's break it down a little bit. I don't want to go. We're not going to go necessarily player by player, every player, but we are going to touch the main
I
pieces.
mean, there's no
All
point in
right.
talking about Jason Tatum. You know you have to keep him. There's no choice but to keep him. He's not Kobe. He's not MJ. He's not that takeover dude, but he's your best player. You have to keep him.
What do you think, Charlie?
He's your best player. Continue to bend around him to get this far. Boston, I mean, out of the two teams, if Boston loses, you don't blow them up. If Golden State loses, yeah, maybe you could trade Clay or Draymond or whatever. But Boston, no. They still got some young pieces that can work.
I think that, and see, this is what gives me Jason Tatum. He makes my butt itch. All right, because I really like him as a player, but I just don't think that he's the best player on the. Not the best player on a championship team, and I feel like you can't get in any equal value for him. But at the same time, he's the guy that I would most want to trade just for the sheer fact that I don't want to give this dude all this money knowing that he can't lead me to a championship.
You're wrong. You're wrong because they
Hold
are
on.
set up to be a collective. They're not set up to be one player is dominant. The
But
player
see, but see, here's where you're wrong. Because when it comes time to win a championship, somebody has to take over. Somebody has to go get a bucket. You cannot rely on Jason Tatum to go get a bucket. He showed it last night, two nights on when was that Monday night? He showed that Monday night. There's a moment in that game where Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter, he goes to the basket and he does this like weird twisting, contorting layup with his left hand. And he made this unnecessarily difficult. And he tried to kiss it off the top of the backboard. And it was just like, dude, you're 6'8". You're literally bigger than everybody else. Go out there and dunk on them, or at least try to dunk on them. If you do that, you're going to get fouled. You're going to go to the line, 2 guaranteed points.
everybody's like, oh, he's taking all these difficult shots unnecessarily. He's unathletic. He's not that guy that can just get to the basket at will. He takes those shots because he can't get past people like everybody thinks he can.
No, I disagree with you. I think that for a guy his size, he's very athletic. At 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", he's very athletic. That's what I even pointed to that weird twisting, contorting layup that he just did when he should have just went straight to the basket, tried to dunk on everybody. That for as much as I don't like LeBron, that's the one thing that I can say about LeBron is if he can't score, he's going to go to the basket. He's going to try to go get fouled, and then he'll shoot the free throws.
When you ever seen a burst of speed from Jason Tatum? You've
There's
never seen it.
moments. There's
But,
moments.
but it's against guys who are weaker defenders. If you are a good defender, he can't get past you. He's not athletic enough.
I mean, he's
He's
not going to be. Andrew Wiggins is a freak, but in this case, I think that and that. But I think you got And that's what it comes down to is you got to keep him just because there's no other way around it. He's on a rookie max, so he's fairly cheap. He's on that max until 2026. So you at 163 mil, you got to keep him.
There's only one player to get rid of on Boston. Literally,
Who?
you have to let Marcus Smart go,
We'll
and
get
you have to package him with Robert Williams because you need a valuable trade asset to give away that
okay.
somebody's going to want.
Let's talk about Marcus Smart. Charlie, would you get rid of Marcus Smart?
No, I definitely think he's a heart of the team. So there are moments he definitely tries to lose you the game, but he's been there a while. So, and he's still able to produce. He's still able to play. So what you're going to get from him, you're not going to get back. Uh, when I say it's the heart of the team, like, uh, could they win games without him? Yeah, they probably could win some games without them. It would probably, some games where he's throwing it away or taking bad shots or whatever, it might be a little easier, but that's the type of player where, he bleeds green. The fans knows it. The team knows it. I think you need him to win. At least for the morale.
I'd like to keep him just for his defense. I think he's an emotional leader, and I think he's fairly cheap. I was looking at his contract. His contract's 76 mil. He's locked in until 2026, and that's a 4-year deal that he just got. So
well, you're both wrong about it.
Hold on. Hold your horses, buddy. All right. So,
God,
chill, buddy. All right.
You're wrong.
Anyway, hold on. Him, and the reason why I would keep him is because I think that he provides an edge to the team that it needs. He's like Draymond Green. He's their Draymond Green on that side, and there's a value to that. And being relatively cheap at $76 million, I'd hold on to him.
Which I was relatively cheap.
For what? He's Defensive Player of the Year. It's debatable if he really was, or but
I agree with that.
But here's the thing: with Jason Tatum taking the bad shots he takes, with Jaylen Brown's also doing it as well, you need a Chris Paul type point guard. He's not the guy to stop them, to orchestrate, to get them into their offense, to get them running. They need somebody like Chris Paul to get them going.
Well, that's what Derek White was supposed to be. Derek White just shrinks in the moments because he's afraid to shoot. I think that
Derek White.
Yeah, I know. They went and got a bargain bin player.
He's Derek White.
I do agree with you. A Chris Paul type point guard would be great, but you can place Marcus Smart next to another point guard. He's big enough and strong enough to play shooting guard. So I would keep.
Can't shoot. You can't have a shooting guard that can't shoot. Keyword: shooting guard.
But for sake of time, let's move on to Jaylen Brown. What would you do with him? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Charlie.
He's the team's second option, and him and sometimes two people can't play together. I think him and Tatum are able to play together and play off each other. So why break up the tandem? So
I'm going to disagree with you. Go ahead, Smooth.
Okay, so with Jaylen Brown, the reason you really need to let him go, but you can't. And the reason why is they're battling for whose team it is.
I agree with that.
That's the problem with that. If Jaylen Brown would just take the step back and be Scottie Pippen, that team could go to the next level.
Here's the thing. I think
hold on, buddy. Hold your horses. I wasn't done here, buddy. Ain't that what you do? Hold your horses. All right?
Hey, go ahead.
Now, what I was going to say is with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum's not a great defender. He's a more off-ball. He's a more help defender. Jaylen Brown allows Jason Tatum to conserve energy and score because Jaylen Brown is going to take your best wing scorer, and he's not going to clamp him, but he's definitely going to give him problems. And they need that. So, because if you got Jason Tatum out there flailing at guys, it's going to be a long year. Let's just be honest.
All right. Well, I would get rid of Jaylen Brown. That's actually what this is the number one improvement that I would make. I'm going to give you a couple reasons. Number one, Jaylen Brown cannot dribble. He has 0 handles. Like, if 2K goes back into the in next year and they give him higher than anything higher than like a 50 like ball handling cap, like complete cap, right? So the reason why I say that, go just look at the next game. Watch the next game. Watch Jaylen Brown try to drive. Watch him lose his handles. Watch him trip over his own feet. Watch him try to do a Euro step that isn't quite a Euro step. There's a lot of deficiencies to his offensive game, and they have to do with ball handling specifically. I think he's a very solid shooter, not a great one. And I think that he gets away with a lot of offensive foul calls because he's kind of barreling into people. Um, he looks like Derrick Henry out there when he's going to the basket. He's like just stiff arming people all over the place. So what I would do is trade him. I don't know what you get for him. I know that he's on again he's on another one on a relatively cheap salary at 106 mil, and he's locked up till 2024. So his stock is never going to be higher than it is right at this very moment. If you trade high on him, you can probably get another veteran in there who's going to be a better complement to Jason Tatum. Because if you watch their offenses, oftentimes it gets stagnant between the two of them, and you'll see them just like, okay, it's my turn to go. Now it's Jason's turn. Now it's my turn. Oh, we'll give the ball to Marcus to let him go once. It's not really a flow of an offense. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm really excited to see what they do because that's what I would do.
You know,
Right,
you're always wrong.
smooth. I'm always right. I told you, I'm always right unless it's my wife talking. Then I'm wrong. Let's move on to Robert Williams. Hey, you can't win. You can't win these arguments with these
You
married women.
can't. They need to get out their feelings and stuff that they're wrong sometimes.
You're about to learn very shortly.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna have a peaceful marriage, man. You got now. They gotta be able to like. They want equality, except that they're wrong. They want equality, right? Give them equality. Don't just give them wins. That's why they think they can win every argument.
You're gonna
But
learn they're always right.
so back to the show.
Robert Williams.
You have to package him with Marcus Smart and send him off somewhere. I hate to let Robert Williams go because Horford's done. He can only give you one or two games a series. So with that said, to get something tangible back, something that you want.
No, I disagree. Totally disagree. I would keep Robert Williams in a heartbeat. You have to on one leg right now. One leg. He's much better than he normally would be. He's playing on one leg right now. And he is absolutely dominating the paint on one leg right now. This series is probably over with if Robert Williams is healthy.
How do you fix your deficiencies if you don't package him to go? You can't because Jaylen Brown can't help you and Marcus Smart can't help
Well, you've got Al Horford's money coming off the books. That's 109 mil.
you. Okay, but well, what are you going to do to replace him? Because Horford's a shell of himself. He's only going to get worse next year.
You got Grant Williams coming off the books. That's another 11 million.
Another guy who can't help you. So again,
Other than that, everybody else is locked up.
you do realize this Boston Celtics team is not a good team. Like the Miami Heat team that they beat was not a good team. You this was 1995 Indiana Pacers versus New York Knicks.
You know, it troubles me, right? Because I think that they were the best team in the East, like collectively as a whole. However, I wish the Miami Heat had won because I think we would have a much better series.
No, because you watch Jimmy Butler's buckets basically play by himself.
No, I think you would see a better Tyler Hero and stuff just because
Victor Oladipo.
well, Golden State doesn't play as good defensively. So I think that we would have saw a better series actually. Jimmy Buckets would be going bananas right now if he was playing in it. But anyway, let's get enough digression there.
But am I wrong? This is the East. The teams that fall forward in the East are basically like it's 1995. It's basically beat you up ball.
No, I don't think that because I think the Warriors aren't quite playing a game like that.
I said the East. I was talking
Oh,
about
the East,
the
yes,
East.
yes, but the East has always been that way.
but it was true 1995.
But that's enough digression. Let's get back to the point. Robert Williams, Charlie, what would you do?
He's a good center. Uh, he's only 24 years old. Why not keep him? The only starter you probably need to change for sure is Al Horford. Oh, I can't say his name. Horford. He's the only person that needs to go, or at least upgrade on. Outside that, the starting five is good enough to make another run next year. To be honest,
They probably are, but I honestly think that the window is closed. If they don't get it done this year, they're cooked because Giannis is coming back and with a vengeance, and he'll have Chris Middleton back, and this ain't going to work out the way that it's going to work out. All right, let's move on to the Warriors because this one is a little more nuanced, I would say. Let's start with obviously Stephen Curry. We're all going to keep him, right?
yes.
So I need to do mine as a whole because I don't need to go player by player on this one because my response is going to shock both of you on this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, go for it.
I actually think the Warriors can stay the exact same way they are now. And the only reason why I say that is
With Draymond.
yes, Draymond is a one-trick tool now, but
Dirty.
yeah, he pretty much is just a rebounder and an assister now. But the things that that hurt them early in this series were the lack of depth. So now they got their players back. They got Otto Porter back. They got Gary Payton, the second back. Now they're at full strength, and you're seeing them come at people. And then I feel like Klay Thompson, he's going to take off again next year because that's the second year away from that ACL and Achilles, and that's usually when people kind of get back into the flow of things. This is only his first year back playing basketball after 3 years off. He'll be fine next year. The only problem I foresee for them really do other teams in the West add something. Like does Dallas add a piece, to help Luka?
Well, I'm going to mention something about that because I saw a trade that's coming up with Dallas.
Yeah, before you get there, Phoenix. Does Phoenix keep Aiden and add a piece to get better? That's really what the Warriors are contending with. Is if everybody stays the same way they are, pretty much they're fine. Because I don't expect Denver is probably the most talented team in the West, but those guys really haven't played together. And then two of them have been injured, and Michael Porter and what's his name? I can't think of his name. The point guard. I cannot think of his name right now.
Oh, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. It was just eluding me. They're both coming back from serious injuries. They're not going to be right this first year. I think the Warriors have their championship window currently constructed is open for at least two years. That's if Draymond just doesn't go off a complete and total cliff where he can't rebound and assist anymore.
I think you're insane. Charlie, let's talk about this.
That's an interesting take.
Okay, so we're yeah, it's very interesting, but also insane, borderline. Charlie, let's just get back on track and get to the land of the normal people. Obviously, we're both keeping Stephen Curry, I'm assuming. Correct?
Yeah.
I would keep Curry. I would keep Wiggins. The starting center is with Wiseman. I mean, he's okay. He's okay. He's 21 years old. He's still filling in the position anyway. So
I would trade him.
They drafted. Didn't they draft him second overall?
Dude, but they're set up with him. He's got time to develop, and then you got Jordan.
We don't know what he is because he's been his 2 seasons in the NBA, or is it 3? I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. It's two seasons in the NBA. Yeah, you're right. It's only
he got drafted in 2020, second pick.
He was hurt. Yeah, because he got drafted right before LaMelo Ball, and the Warriors should have picked up LaMelo Ball. But anyway, this is gonna look like how it looked when the Pistons took Darko over Carmelo. That's how this is gonna look in the future. or how Portland looks, taking Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan. But anyway,
You don't know that because Portland also took Jermaine O'Neal, and nobody knew how good Jermaine O'Neal was until he got to what?
that's
Indy.
later. But they took him later in the first round. I'm talking about second overall, and he's been nothing but hurt. Nothing but hurt. I would try to trade him and try to get something good for him from a low level team who is in the lottery consistently and is just trying to bet on having great players to try to pick up another player who's going to actually contribute immediately. Because James Wiseman is essentially a rookie. If you really want to think about it, he's really just a rookie. He's played. I don't know what the number is actually on his amount of games he's played, but he basically missed the whole first season, and then he missed basically the whole season this season. So he has zero experience. And if you're actually trying to compete for a title, you don't want that guy starting for you. So why not trade high? And if he turns out to be a great player, so be it. He turns out to be a great player. However, if you can extend your title window by 3 years and potentially and go, let's say they go to three finals, that trade gets them to three finals and they win two. It was worth it. It was worth it.
This is just like you know loyalty.
I say you keep Wiseman. I say out of the starting five, in my opinion, Clay's the one. Maybe you keep him to see how he develops, but your first pick is Clay's replacement. If
I,
not, he comes off the bench because Clay. We're all hoping that he plays better after the injury. He's on the wrong side of 30s. He's on the wrong side of 30s, and he missed a ton of games. And from what we've seen this far, yes, you can make the argument that he's not 100%. He's still getting in the groove. But what if he doesn't get into the groove? Then what do you do?
I'm going to tell you this. I don't know what to do with Wiggins just because I think he's about to get paid. He was on the rookie max, and I think he's about to get paid.
I'd
Like,
say you keep Wiggins, you keep Curry, and Wiseman. Let him get. He's going to get more opportunities.
you can't
He's going to
overpay
get.
for a guy that's going to be your fourth option on offense. So that's why I don't know what to do with Wiggins. I would prefer to keep him, but I think he's about to get paid.
There's only one team that's going to pay him ridiculous money. One team out there,
Who?
Toronto Raptors.
It might be them. It could
Because don't you know who he is? He's Maple
I
Jordan.
know Maple Jordan. I know. I remember that Maple Jordan, and he'd be coming home to Canada. It'd be huge for him. Clay Thompson, I would try to trade him, but I don't think you can get anything for him. I think you're stuck with Clay, and that's the only reason why I would keep Clay Thompson. It's just because you're stuck with him. Everybody saw what Clay Thompson is at this point, and you can't get rid of him. You're stuck with him. His contract's up after next season. He's in 2024. And ain't nobody gonna want to pay $37 million for that Clay Thompson per season. All right, so you're stuck with him. Draymond, same problem. I would like to cut Draymond or trade him. I don't know who wants Draymond. He's making $24 million a year, and you're stuck with him for one season. It's a 1 year rental. Who's gonna pay for that? But if I were the Warriors, I would be looking to try to move at least one of them, if not both of them. Try to get younger. What do you guys think of Jordan Poole?
You got to keep him.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you have to blow it up when you got Weissman, you got Jordan Poole, you got Gary Payton II? It's a bright future on that bench. I'm not saying those guys are stars, but I'm saying they're good enough to keep it going.
So Jordan Poole is a restricted free agent. They're gonna obviously sign his tender, and then after they sign his tender, they can match any offer that he gets. Would you match any offer?
No, and nobody's stupid enough to offer Jordan Poole a ton of money. I don't think anybody's that stupid.
Okay, I'm gonna remind you that we're talking about NBA GMs.
They've gotten a little bit wiser recently. This isn't like the Bulls offering what was his name,
I remember him.
Eddie Jones,
Eddie Jones. No, it wasn't Eddie Jones. It was something
Eddie Jackson, or something like that.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
offer them
He was like a dude off the street. He like never played NBA ball, and he went to like a Division III school and just been
and
around.
Charlotte, and he was balling out for Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, he had like that one season. Yeah, but okay, GMs. I will agree with you. GMs have gotten better. However, I'm going to remind you that this is the same NBA that employed David Kahn with Minnesota, and it's the same NBA that employed Sam Hinkie. Trust the process. If you don't know who that is, in Philadelphia. All right. This is the same NBA that has Michael Jordan out here ruining teams.
People
Yeah.
give Jordan a hard rap. It's Charlotte.
No.
Nobody's signing up to go to Charlotte. He has to swing and try to hit big. It's
I,
just like Toronto.
I disagree. I think if he built a better structure, people would go play for him.
It's Charlotte. People want to go play in three places in the NBA, in three places only. Either they want to be in LA, they want to be in Miami, or they want to go to God, what is that? Phoenix.
Yeah, they like Phoenix, LA, New York, Miami. Chicago's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But that has to do
But
with
Jordan Poole, what about the Clippers?
no one wants to play for the Clippers. They've gotten a better rep since Steve Ballmer taking over, but they're no one wants to play for them still because you're always going to be. It's the problem. You're always going to be number two in the city
And people will go play for Houston. That's the other team people will go
because
play.
Houston's amazing and you're on the ocean. All right.
That's what I'm saying. Jordan can't attract anybody to Charlotte, even with him being Michael Jordan, and you getting all the
Hold on, real quickly though. I'm going to bring this up. So the Mavs are trading Christian Wood. The trading for Christian Wood. Houston is going to send Christian Wood to the Mavs for the number 26 pick and a few players, including Boban and Trey Burke. So that's what's happening. Just
oh, I
before,
see that.
huh?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. So the Warriors better figure it out really quickly because I don't know if you're familiar with him, Charlie Murphy. I don't know if you're familiar with Christian Wood because he plays for Houston, and Houston sucks, and no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Christian Wood can ball. Christian Wood can ball.
18 points a game, 10 rebounds a game.
Yep.
But the
So
problem with that is, how does he fit with
I
Luca?
think great because he wants to play on the perimeter and shoot threes. So he's gonna open up the lane. He's gonna play like that Porzingis role, but he can actually rebound and he'll actually play a little bit of defense, just a little bit. So I actually like that move for them.
I don't like it, and the only reason why I don't like it is because I watched enough Houston to know what Christian Wood can do. It's not all jump shots with him. It is some banging in the paint, and
It is.
it's going to take away from his game because now he has to space.
I agree, but he was doing a lot of that in Houston, and he did a ton of that in Detroit.
Yeah, but he's not like a knockdown shooter, which is what you need with Luca if you're going to let him just
What are you
sit.
talking about? He is a knockdown shooter. He shoots like over 40% as a big man.
Yeah, but it's not like catch and shoot. That's what I'm talking about. Most of his shots are not catch and shoot shots.
Dude, I watched Houston lead pass constantly. He's a knockdown shooter and with the catch and shoot. You got to watch them because Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green were just dominating the ball, and Christian Wood was just kind of like getting points wherever he could. So I think it'll work out very well with him in actuality. But we're actually out of time, fellas. We are up against the clock. So I just want to thank you both for being on the show. And I also want to thank, huh? Yeah, well, we're always right, and you're the one that's generally wrong on almost everything. But hey, want to thank you both. Thank you both again for joining us, and we want to thank everyone for watching. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, leave a comment. Make sure you watch us on YouTube, and we'll see y'all in a couple of days.